1st of February, WWE Smackdown. The final boss returns. The Rock returning to announce not one, but two things, and one thing leading into a storyline. So we'll get to it when it appears in the show, but it's not first up, and it's not last, which is kind of surprising for a Bloodline segment. But the first bit was that The Rock changed the six-man tag into just a tag and removing Cody Rhodes out of it. You can see why. But anyway, first match of the night was Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy Uso, which surprisingly, Jimmy won. He won via a roll-up counter on an Alabama Slam. It did shock me, I can't lie. I thought Drew would win it, especially with the Chamber being in, a week's time from today. Obviously, it's Saturday today, so a week's time. Obviously, after the match, Drew attacks Jimmy, I guess, obviously, to grab back that heat and momentum, but I was a bit surprised, I won't lie. I don't mind it, but it was surprising. You then have a tag match of The Miz and Carmelo Hayes versus R-Truth and LA Knight, which Miz and Melo were the winners of this match. They picked up the win after Nakamura attacked LA Knight without the referee seeing, don't worry. Obviously, then leaving R-Truth 2-on-1, which, as you can expect, he's not going to win. All right, he's not going to win that. After that was the Tiffany Stratton promo saying that she's going to come for the top girl spot, which is obviously Charlotte's spot in theory. Jax and Candice LeRae turn up, saying that it's cute that she thinks she would have beaten Jax last week. Basically leading into the Candice LeRae Tiffany Stratton match, which obviously Tiffy wins. No one's shocked by that. That was predictable. All right. Winning this match, obviously, after the match, Jax attacks. The heels gang up on Tiffy. Trish Stratus appears, comes down to the ring to try and save Tiffy. It does for a bit. And then, obviously, then the heels take back over. Jax hits an Annihilator on both of them. So, yeah. That's obviously leading into a tag match coming up. But, yeah, no, it was a solid match, to be fair. Solid match. It might have gone a little bit too long, in my opinion, but it was a solid match. You had then Naomi and Belair come down to the ring, which should have been a Morgan versus Naomi match. It was just a beatdown, really, by Raquel and Morgan on both of them, which don't mind, if I'm honest. I don't mind. It's good sometimes to have Naomi and Belair, not have the upper hand occasionally. It's good to kind of have that dynamic shift, especially when after last week, Raquel and Morgan, getting attacked, costing Raquel that match against Roxanne. I rated that. And then it's the final boss time, which is quite interesting that the final boss was in the middle of the show. Okay, comes down, he announces WrestleMania 42 will be in New Orleans. And it's not surprising, if I'm honest, either, because a lot of times WrestleMania follows the Super Bowl. Super Bowl obviously having, 125 to 150 million viewers. WWE sort of try and tag along a little bit off of the back of that. It's obviously it's the biggest American sport, probably. Okay, I say probably it is, and try and tag that along to try and give that some of the rub that you get from the Super Bowl. So not surprising there. He definitely felt a lot more like the final boss this time, though, which was really good to see. A lot more of a final boss than he was compared to the Raw Netflix debut, which was only, was 6 weeks ago, something like that? 7 weeks ago, maybe? Maybe 7 weeks ago. He calls down Cody. Cody comes down to the ring. He praises Cody for his efforts and he praises him as a champion. He says, hey, we're more friends now and da-da-da-da-da, all that stuff. And then the dynamic of the room changes. He goes, I want you to be more than a champion. I want you to be the Rock's champion. It did give me, I'm just saying, it did give me, and I'm not the person, it gave me Vince McMahon vibes. It really did. He said, the Rock can open doors that you don't even know exist for you. He said, how many, you got millions of followers on social media. He goes, yeah, I do. He goes, The Rock has 500 million. He's like, the most followed man in all of the world. And, he did mention the failed Roman match. He mentioned the Cody slapping him. He says, but I want you to be my champion. And he's like, and I want that. And Cody's like, you want my title? And he goes, no. I want your soul. Which, look, I'm gonna assume that Cody's going to say no, because the answer is going to be at the Elimination Chamber. We've got to wait a whole week to find out. Cody's going to say no. He's going to get a bit of a pop from the crowd, make him more of a babyface, and The Rock will do something to him. But it was a good promo. It's obviously, you know, when The Rock turns up, the energy and the aura just completely flips and changes. And there you go. You then had the tag team championship match between DIY and Pretty Deadly. The crowd felt flat for this, because I think a lot of the time, you know, you have something really, really momentous and something you're going to get really invested into. It's very hard to keep that investment, you know, that kind of level going. You can obviously, but you know, I don't know if the crowd are connecting to these two teams very well. Look, DIY. I know DIY from obviously NXT Black and Gold. Pretty Deadly. I really like Pretty Deadly. I do. So I was digging this match. I was up for this match. It ends in a DQ finish because Street Profits just calm down and just decide, we're just going to kick the crap out of everyone. Pretty Deadly, we'll kick the crap out of them. DIY, we're going to kick the crap out of them. Motor City Machine Guns come down. Yeah, we're going to kick the crap out of you as well. And obviously this more strong looking, more serious look to the Street Profits, I think one is needed from where they were previously. It was something that they were trying to do with Bobby Lashley, but I don't think it was going the way that WWE wanted. Obviously, then Bobby getting released and now him being in AEW. This, for me, is the direction that I think a lot of us wanted them to go. You know, people talk about, you know, is Montez going to be doing the singles push and singles run? Well, you could also just add more to his character without having to do that just yet. He's a young guy, you know. Look at the Usos. You know, the Usos together for a decade and then had single time. These guys haven't been together as long. Like, there's no need to do that just yet. Push them as the bad guys. Push them as this, like, more serious, tough looking. And I think it will benefit them when they do get singles pushes, you know. I think it will benefit them. Main event time was Jacob and Solo versus Strowman and Priest. Jacob cutting a promo on way down to his entrance, which, look, everyone knows I absolutely love Jacob Fatu. But the dynamic has completely switched. It's you know, Solo is like the backup guy now. Jacob is the leader, you know, and it's, you know, it's such a weird shift from where we were only a few months ago. Hell, you know, where we were 2 months ago to now. So a bit weird on that side of things, but you know, cutting that ring, you know, it definitely feels like they've switched places. Priest wins this though with a South of Heaven on Solo after Jacob. He goes to super kick Priest. He super kicks Solo, but the camera is on Jacob's face. Just looks really unfazed that he's done that. It's definitely something that they're building to this match between Solo and Jacob. They really are, which I think a lot of us wouldn't mind at Mania. You know, it'll be the culmination of a year-long, you know, situation between the two of them. So there's that. But overall, SmackDown was a good show, obviously teasing a lot of things going into the Mania, which I think is good. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.